If you've ever been in the presence of a narcissist, someone who drained your spirit, tested your patience, and tried to break you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But hear me today. You were not the victim. You were the lesson. You were placed in their life by divine design. God doesn't make mistakes. He puts you in that fire, not to burn you, but to refine you, not to destroy you, but to elevate you. You were victorious, not because they changed, not because they admitted their wrongs, but because you walked away stronger, because you stood firm in faith when they tried to shake you. So why did God allow this experience? What was he teaching you? And how have you come out on the other side victorious? God is refining you. Some of you have walked through a storm so fierce, it felt like it would swallow you whole. You were placed in the life of a narcissist, someone who drained your energy, twisted your kindness into a weapon of kindness, and made you question your worth. At first, you thought it was love. You thought it was fate, something meant to be. But what you didn't realize was that you wasn't placed in their life by accident. God doesn't make mistakes. He didn't put you there to suffer, to be controlled, or to be broken. He put you there to be tested, to be refined like gold in the fire. Gold doesn't come out of the ground shining. It is buried deep, hidden beneath the dirt, and must be purified by intense heat. Only then does it shine. And you, my friend, were in that refining fire. That toxic relationship, that betrayal, that manipulation, it was not designed to destroy you. It was designed to shape you. Because God doesn't allow his strongest warriors to go through easy battles. He places them in situations where their faith is tested, where their patience is stretched, where their character is molded into something unbreakable. Every tear you cried, every night you laid awake, wondering if you were losing yourself, every moment of self-doubt, it was all a part of the process. God was stripping away the parts of you that needed to go, the insecurity, the need for validation, the willingness to settle for less than what he had planned for you. And now, look at you. You are stronger. You are wiser. You are no longer the same person who walked into that storm. The narcissists thought they were controlling you, but in reality, they were unknowingly being used for your growth. What they meant for harm, God used for your transformation. They tried to make you doubt your worth, but instead, you discovered it. They thought they were breaking you, but in reality, they were sharpening you. They thought you would never walk away, but you did. And now, you don't just survive, you thrive. So don't ever look back on that chapter of your life again and see wasted time. That wasn't wasted time. It was training ground. God was preparing you for something greater, people of God. And now you carry the lesson, but not the burden. Now you walk in victory, not in regret. Because what was meant to break you only made you shine brighter. You were the lesson. When you first encountered the narcissist, you might have believed it was fate, that they were meant to be in your life for a reason. And you were right, but not for the reason you thought. You weren't sent there to be loved by them, to be cherished by them, or to build a future with them. You were sent there to be the lesson. You were never the victim. You were the revelation they never expected. Some people go through life never understanding what real love looks like. They only know control. They only know how to manipulate, take, and deceive. They live in darkness, blinded by their own selfishness. And then you walked in. You, with your pure heart, your forgiving nature, and your ability to give without expecting anything in return, you are different. You weren't like the others who played their games or reinforced their toxic ways. You showed them something they had never seen before. True unconditional love. But instead of valuing it, they took advantage of it. They fed off your kindness. They drained your energy. They tested your patience. And Yet through it all, you remained faithful to who you were. You gave, you forgave, you believed in them, even when they did not deserve it. And that, people of God, is what made you the lesson. The narcissists thought they were using you, but in reality, God was using you to expose them. They thought they were in control, but what they didn't realize was that you were sent into their lives as a mirror, a reflection of everything that they lacked, a reminder of what real love, real compassion, and real selflessness looked like. And deep down, they knew it. That's why they fought so hard to break you, because your presence forced them to confront who they really was. But this is the part that they'll never admit to you. They will never forget you. No matter how much time passes, no matter how many people they try to replace you with, you will always be the one that got away, the one they couldn't fully control, the one who walked away and became better, not bitter. And you, people of God, you didn't lose them. They lost you. You were the real one, the one who loved without condition, the one who stayed when it was hard, the one who fought for something they was never worthy of in the first place. And now they have to live with the fact that they mistreated something precious. But let me ask you something. Was it really a loss for you? It was a lesson in discernment, a lesson in self-worth, a lesson in understanding that not everyone deserves the love that you have to give to them. You were never meant to stay in their life. You were meant to show them what they would never have again. And that is victory. Victory over toxicity. Your strength broke their control. The narcissists wanted you to believe that you were weak. They wanted you to think that without them, you would crumble, that without their approval, you had no value. They whispered lies, planted seeds of doubt, and twisted reality to make you question everything, including yourself. But let me tell you this. If you were so weak, why did they have to work so hard to break you? See, deep down, they knew the truth. You were stronger than them all along. They saw something in you that terrified them. Real strength, real faith, real power. And that's why they had to control you. That's why they had to tear you down. Because if you ever truly realized your worth, you would walk away. And the moment you did, make no mistake about it, this was a battle for your mind, a battle for your identity, a battle for your faith, and for a while, they had you fooled. They had you believing that their approval mattered, that their love was worth chasing after, that if you just tried a little harder, gave a little more, maybe they would finally see your worth. But hear me today, people of God, you were never the one who needed to change. You were never the problem. You was the one holding on, the one giving, the one loving, with a heart that was never meant to be played with. And now you see it clearly. Look at where you are now. You are free. Free from their manipulation, free from their mind games, free from the weight of constantly trying to prove yourself to someone who was never meant to understand you. They may have thought they won. They may have believed they had the final say. But what they didn't realize was that the moment you stopped reacting, the moment you stopped engaging in their chaos, the moment you chose peace over their control, you shattered their illusion of power, because their power was never real. It was a fragile illusion built on lies, deceit, and your willingness to stay. And now you have taken away your power back. Now you walk with your head high, no longer seeking their validation, no longer chained by their words, no longer weighed down by their manipulations. And let me tell you this, the narcissists will never ever admit it, but they feel your absence. Oh yeah, they do. Because no matter how much they try to act like they've moved on, no matter how much they pretend you never mattered, deep down, they know the truth. They lost someone they could never replace. And you didn't lose anything. You gained clarity. You gained wisdom. You gained freedom. You walked away. And in that moment, you won. That is victory. There are lessons in life that can only be learned through fire, lessons that words alone cannot teach, lessons that require you to walk through the valley, endure the storm, and come out on the other side forever changed. And you have been through that fire. You have stood in the presence of deception, endured the weight of manipulation, and survived the slow erosion of your own self-worth at the hands of someone who was never meant to keep you. At first, you did not see the warning signs. You believed in their words. You trusted their actions. You gave them the benefit of the doubt again and again, because that is who you are. You love deeply. You forgive freely. You see the best in people, even when they cannot see it in their own self. But this is the truth. You now understand that not everyone is worthy of that kind of love. Not everyone deserves access to the kindness in your heart, the patience in your spirit, or the generosity of your soul. Some people take and never give. Some people destroy and never build. Some people only know how to consume, draining everything in their path until nothing in their path remains. And now you know how to recognize them. You have learned what manipulation looks like, not just in the obvious ways, but in the subtle, creeping moments where control disguises itself as love. You have learned that real love does not ask you to shrink yourself. It does not demand that you prove your worth over and over and over again. It does not punish you for setting boundaries. It does not twist the truth, shift the blame, or leave you questioning your own sanity. You have learned that the moment someone makes you feel small, the moment someone chips away at your confidence, the moment someone makes you believe that you are too much or not enough, all at once, that is your warning sign. That is the moment you walk away. You have learned that your love is not meant to be wasted on those who see it as a weakness. Your kindness is not an invitation for others to take advantage of you. Your presence is not a privilege for just anyone to have. And most importantly, you have learned that your worth does not come from them. It does not come from their validation, their approval, or their acceptance. It comes from the one who created you, the one who called you by name before you ever took your first breath. Now, when you look in the mirror, you no longer see someone who was abandoned. You see someone who was set apart. You see someone who has been sharpened by experience, strengthened by pain, and elevated by wisdom. You see someone who will never again tolerate less than what they deserve. And that is something the narcissist will never understand. They will never comprehend the power of someone who has been through the fire and come out refined. They will never grasp the strength of someone who has walked through darkness and still carries light. They may have taken your time, your energy, even your tears, but they did not take your future. They did not take your purpose. They did not take the wisdom that now lives inside of you. And that wisdom is your armor. It is your protection. It is the reason why you will never be deceived in the same way again. So no, you did not lose. You gained everything. You walked away not just with survival, but with the clarity to see people for who they truly are, with the discernment to protect your peace, and with the strength to never again hand your power to someone who was never worthy of it. And that part is the greatest victory of it all. God used the pain to prepare you. God does not send his strongest warriors into easy battles. He does not place his chosen ones in places of comfort and ease. He sends them into the fire, not to burn them, but to refine them. And when he allows you to walk through the pain, the deception, and the heartbreak of that toxic relationship, he was not punishing you. He was preparing you. At first, it felt like suffering. It felt like endless prayers that went unanswered, like a test you never signed up for. You cried out to God, asking why. You questioned why he allowed you to love someone who could never love you back, why he let you endure the weight of manipulation, why he kept you in a situation that drained your soul. But hear me today. God was never ignoring you. He was working. He was shaping you. He was burning away the parts of you that once tolerated less than what he intended for you. He was stripping away the insecurities that made you believe you had to prove your worth to someone who was never capable of seeing it. Look at gold. It does not come out of the earth shining. It is covered in impurities. It must be placed in intense heat, melted down, and refined so that everything that does not belong is burned away. And that is what God is doing and was doing in your life. That fire wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to transform you. You may have felt abandoned, but you were never alone. God was with you in the fire. Every sleepless night, he was there. Every moment of doubt, he was watching. He saw every tear. He heard every prayer. And while you thought he was silent, he was preparing you for something greater. See, if God had let you stay where you were, you would have settled for less than God's best. If he had answered your prayer the way you wanted it, you would have remained in a place that was never meant to hold you. So he allowed the truth to reveal itself. He let you see the narcissist's heart for what it really is, not to break you, but so you would finally be free. And now look at yourself. You are stronger. The pain that once kept you bound has become the very thing that sets you free. You no longer see love through desperation. You see it now through wisdom. You no longer chase validation. You walk in confidence. You no longer shrink yourself to fit into places you were never meant to be. You stand tall, knowing exactly who you are, and that is what the enemy fears the most, because now you cannot be deceived. Now you cannot be manipulated. Now you know the power of your worth. So don't ever look back and regret what you went through. It was not wasted. It was not meaningless. It was preparation. God has great things ahead for you, and he needed you to see yourself the way he has always seen you, as strong, as chosen, as victorious. His mind was full of visions, and now you shine like gold.